There was one. Hey,
Yeah.
one other thing I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, oh, you were. I'm sorry. You were going to ask me another question. Uh, I'm sorry. You were going to ask me about Trump, or who I'm
hmm
supporting for president.
That's right. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I've got that written down here. But uh, so so yeah, that is a question I wanted to ask you of who it is that you're going to endorse for president.
Well, I had to. I got to tell you, I was watching Speaker Ryan, and I feel like watching Hamlet. What doth trouble him now? I'm like, interesting that he's more afraid of the people that put up the 63,000 ads against Trump than he is of the 13 million extra voters that Trump got for the Republicans. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Chris, I've been publishing for 28 years, and I would never ever tell my readers who to support for president. I know that some of my readers love Trump and some of them don't. I know that the National Review did this Bash Trump screed and devoted an entire issue, and I thought it was completely improper for them to do that. Now, maybe it's because I'm old fashioned, but I don't think it's my place to tell my readers who to vote for. Um, and I respect them a lot. And, the National Review, I've been subscribing to National Review since I was in Hillsdale College. I'm not even going to tell you what year I graduated, Chris. I'm just saying that was a formative publication for me. I mean, at Hillsdale College, William F. Buckley did an interview. He did a debate series with Jesse Jackson. I mean, these people were where I cut my political teeth. I think they did a 3-part series at Hillsdale College with those two guys talking, and they debated the issues like people should do. And so I went up to an event at the Heritage Foundation Resource Bank up in Philadelphia a couple months back, and oh my God, I actually ran into an acquaintance who was one of the attackers in National Review, and I just told him what I thought. I told him, it's completely improper, and we had some words about it. But I said, it is not your place to tell people in the primaries who the hell they should vote for. It's not my job is to report stuff, and I mean, people know. I think people can figure out where I stand on these issues. But it's just not right for me to say that. So I get that question a lot, and I'm not being evasive. I mean, I think if you read my stuff, you can pretty much see where I would be on this issue. But I just don't. It's just kind of the last journalistic thing that I've just been doing for a long time, and I mean, people knew that I loved Reagan. I thought Reagan was a great president. And it was very, but I never actually said I support Ronald. I never said the words, but I certainly, in retrospect, I certainly did. I can tell you that now. But anyway, so I think the National Review people made a big mistake weighing in. I think it debased them a bit, and I'm sorry to see that because, frankly, we need a great National Review, independent of the politics of who we select in our party structure. We need publications, independent print publications, just like National Review, and for them to get into that space was, in my view, it's just going to leave them weaker and weaker and weaker. They ultimately have to have the trust of all of their subscribers, not just a few. And I think that's why they've subsetted themselves into financial oblivion.
Interesting. Yeah. So what I hear you saying is what your approach is. Here are the things that here are my opinions, but you don't cross that line to say these should be your opinions or this is who you should vote for.
It
But
is. It
yeah,
is tempting. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you it wasn't tempting. But I've so far avoided it. So
yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I mean, you know, to me, it kind of means that I can trust what you put out a little more than someone who might have
yeah,
a little more of an agenda.
because later when I need to talk about a difficult subject, uh, they're going to believe, maybe they're going to think that I'm a front group for Cruz or a front group for whoever. And I don't want them to think that. I'd rather them just say, he's just some old curmudgeon that doesn't want to, that wants to just shoot his mouth off and about the things that matter to him, and not get caught up in the personalities. That's a big thing about independent living. Too many people in this country are caught up in the political personalities, and we need to look at the situation right around us. That's where you have the real power to take control of your life, and that's another reason I resist jumping into the personalities. And politics is strictly reactive. They cannot do anything proactively. Take this terrorist thing, for example. Everybody wants to do gun control, sure, okay, uh, but the truth is that a gun shop was suspicious of that Orlando attacker, and they called it into the FBI. Okay? They don't need all the Patriot Act. People were calling these things in. 9/11 was a border infiltration operation. They could have fixed that instead of just making the American people have an internal transit control system. They could have just fixed it. 9/11 was a border infiltration operation. This guy, uh, the guys in the gun shop actually called the FBI, and nothing came of it. Nothing came of it. And the point is that government is incapable. People think the government does everything for them, and the reality is government can only react. It only reacts after something has happened, and then it only reacts in a way that favors its long-term power. So they're never going to be able to prevent serious issues. And I would never diss the FBI. I'm just saying that they're incapable of actually stopping these types of things from happening, because in every instance somebody calls it in, and for whatever reason it never gets it to the right people, and it's because government is reactive and not proactive. It's a profound limitation on what they can do. So people need to look around themselves and figure out what they need to do next. It's called better, smarter self-reliance. Just count on them being dysfunctional. It's up to us. And we, Americans just need to invent their way forward in their own lives. So that's how I look at it. That's how I conduct my life. You read Independent Living, and that's what you're going to learn from us. That's our one trick pony thing.
Yeah, set your expectations low from the government. If they come through on something, hey, it's a bonus, but you don't have to depend on it. Yeah,
That's right. But always vote pro freedom. Don't drop out.
that's right.
Vote pro freedom always. Make your voice heard. There's nothing wrong with that. I strongly support it. But the best way you can be pro freedom is to be truly more self-reliant, and you don't have to hide in a bunker. You don't have to do that. You can be free in the open sunshine if you know how to do it. If you spend the time figuring out the smart ways to do it, because a lot of people do. There's always people that prevail and survive even in times like this, and it's a skill set. It's all it is, like anything else.
Right, right. Lee, great to talk to you.
Chris, enjoyed it. Next time.
All right, see you soon.